Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here. Welcome back to Painted Studios. As you might notice, I'm vertical today instead of horizontal. Facebook is not allowing the phones to rotate for me to do my live. So we're going to be doing it in a slightly more challenging position, which means I'm going to have to rotate things in all kinds of new positions today to make them work. I have a couple of things to share with you. We are now doing the exclusive Joel Cobb line of cutouts. This was a dear friend of my family. He and his family used to create these wonderful wooden cutout ornaments. And now I'm making them. So I'm making the cutout shapes. We'll have them as blanks, and then we will have them obviously as made. Hey, Terry. Hey, Beverly and Linda. Thank you for popping in. So just to understand a little bit of how these are made, these are old. You know, this one's 1975. So when these were made, we didn't have laser cutters. We didn't have any of that fine, fancy stuff. So they were cut on a bandsaw and sanded with a sanding belt and hand sander. And that is exactly what you are going to get from me. Now, you're going to look at this and go, God, that's uneven and awkward. Well, if you look at this shape, it's exactly the same. You know, it's just, these guys are old. So I got a little smooch on there, so I got to clean it off. Yes, that one's mine. It's going to my house. I'm not going to send you out anything that I just put my thumb and saliva on. So this one, if you look at them, they are the same. Funny little foot shapes, not even. This was cut out by a great guy. And so all of these shapes are going to have a little bit of a rustic feel, a little bit different. They're not going to have that clean laser sharp edge. I cut these myself. I cut them the old-fashioned way. I cut them with a bandsaw, and then I sand them. So they're very reasonably priced. They're going to run anywhere from $1.95 to $3.95 in the blanks, and you will not find these cutouts anywhere. They are exclusive to me. They are the Joel Cobb line. I'm doing it to honor my friends. So we have the triple mushroom, which is what it looks like painted. And that I will paint a few myself that look like that. And this is what the wood blank looks like. Now, again, you're going to see not even, different, slightly different. Now I got to flip it so it's exactly the same way. So you can see that one side's cut a little narrower than the other. This is absolutely the way this one was done. Hand painted, hand cut, everything just for the uniqueness. And then we have the curved mushroom cut just for you all. And these will come pre-cut, pre-sanded. Everything will be finished on them. They'll be ready to paint, but you're going to notice they're different than the laser cut ones you all are used to. And this is why they're hand cut, handmade, and that's very special to me. So we'll paint on one or two of these later, but I also wanted to finally make my tray with the handles that I cast while we were here on a live one day. So the first thing we have to do now, this is gonna take a little finagling because I'm not used to being in this vertical. I tried to go live like 4 times trying to flip it to horizontal. For whatever reason, Facebook isn't accepting that now. And if that continues to be the way, we're going to have to find a new way to film because this is not very conducive. Oh, thank you, Desiree. All right, so we have to drill the holes. Now let me play with this. Let me adjust my camera. It's going to take a minute because, again, everything is restaged from horizontal to vertical. And I'm not sure that the camera won't fall out of the tripod because this is not a tripod I normally use. The other tripod won't allow me to flip the other way. All right, let's see if I can get this down here and not flip the camera out. Please, 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 please. Okay, I've got this aimed. Now, I'm going to try to make sure everything's vertical so you guys can see it. If I don't answer your questions, honest to God, at this angle, I can't see it. So I'll come back and answer. Now, I have already marked I tried it with Sharpie, believe it or not, Epoxy Sheds Sharpie. So I used a little metallic ink pen. I marked my dots on here, which are virtually impossible to show on camera. I marked them on both sides, so we're gonna have to drill both the tray and we have to drill the handles because I cast those handles. So I have to have a little hole in here. And this is gonna be the patience making part because I have to drill the hole in the handles and not go all the way through. This is easy. Now I'm going with a small bit. You can see I'm going, I think this is maybe an 1/8 inch. I don't remember. I just pulled it out because it looked like it was the right size. I don't always look to see what size things are. All right. Okay. Now the nice thing is this epoxy has been curing. It's been sitting, I did this tray like 2 weeks ago. So it's hard. That makes it very easy to drill. All right, I'm gonna have the drill on, watch your ears. Okay, got them all. Always check it, always reflects a little oddly. Now you can see, I keep a piece of wood. This is my drilling block. It's an old piece of 2x4. We needed a piece of 2x4 in here for something else. I keep pieces of wood around like this just for the point of drilling because this is, I don't want to drill through my table. And I don't have a drill press, so I need to make sure I have something to drill onto that's steady. And if I drill through, I'm not going to ruin my furniture. All right, so this is the handle. I'm going to drill here. This has got to go a little slower because I got to make sure I get it in and don't split it. I don't have to go very deep because we're only using screws that are this big because it doesn't require that much. Go. And so you can see the epoxy likes to, instead of just shedding dust, the heat and the friction kind of make it want to peel up and curl around the drill bit. So you got to clean it out once in a while. All right, let me get the bits and pieces off of there, take my bit out, and we'll set the drill and the bit over there, deal with that later. Take the wood block out, and yeah, let's clean the crud off the table. Now I'm using small screws. They need to come up, they need to be tall enough to come up through the tray and grab into the handle without being so long that it clearly comes through the handle. Let me go grab a screwdriver. And somebody always says to me, why don't you use an electric screwdriver or use your drill? For a very simple reason, because I don't have as much control. And I'm not always steady with my hands, just like everybody else. And I'm better sometimes if I do by hand. I have a little more control, things go through, things work better. Now I've drilled my holes a little smaller than the screws so that when I screw through, the screw will bite. Now, I may have to go through several screws because these are far from new screws. And some of them have been stripped a little. So that one's a little stripped, that one doesn't want to go. I have a whole bag of these, so it's not like this is going to be a problem. I don't tend to throw out screws when I take things apart because I like to recycle the screws. I don't like wasting stuff like this. And I really resent spending money on it when I usually have like 4 of them floating around, 4 different kinds. Now this is not my best screwdriver, so let me go see if I got another one that I like better. Let's see. One of the best gifts I ever got from my sister was this little tiny toolkit. And what's so awesome about it is it has like 1,000,000 screws. Now that you'll notice a set of pliers is missing. It's not missing, it's just in a different spot. So I like to come in, take a screwdriver. From here, sometimes the little ones often can work better than the big ones. Now, let's see. Yeah, that one really, I really think I might need to drill a slightly larger hole, truthfully, because this does not want to grab. And see, this is, this is part of the whole deal. You've got to figure it out. All right, I do think it needs a slightly larger hole. So I'm going to go with 1 or 2 sizes up. Let's see what size this is. I hate pulling my bits out of here because it's like they wedge in, they're so stiff, and they don't like to come out easily. All right, this one is 1/8. All right, we're gonna do a 1/8 drill. I'm not working on something to make my life harder. It's very simple. I know better. All right, watch your ears. All right, that should help. And then I gotta get, if I gotta drill the holes in the tray, then I got to drill the holes in the handles just a little bigger too. I unplug this because I'm so smart. Yep. I just pulled this little plug ever so slightly out of the wall. There we go. Get all those little bits and pieces off and put my drill to the side. All right, that should work better. It's easier to start off smaller and go bigger because there's always room to grow out. But if you make your holes too big, you can't make them smaller again without completely repouring the epoxy. Let's see, that works better. Oh yeah, that's fitting through much, much better. You can see right there, it's fitting right through there. I know somebody's commenting, I can't read it right now. So if I did something that scares you, I'm sorry. If I did something wrong, I'm sorry. If you have a question, I promise I'll answer it later. Okay, so I always try to take the screws and stick them through on the back all the way before I go around and put the handles on, because once you start putting the handles on, this doesn't lay even and it makes your own life a lot harder. So I start here, getting the screws fed through. And I'm sure somebody's asking, but yes, the epoxy is 100% food safe. You can absolutely serve food on it. Although, you know, after doing all this drilling and stuff, might I suggest cleaning it? Okay, so now I've got my screws and my holes. My handle's mounted onto there lightly. Well, not that lightly. Maybe a little less lightly than that. There we go. Come on. That one wants to wiggle out. All right, let's get this one in first. Going fine. I know somebody's going to ask me, well, now that you've got the screws on the bottom and you've got the screw together. Yes, I could have glued this together. I don't like that idea. I prefer to do it this way. I find that if I screw it together, the bond is, the piece is better stuck together than it is if I glue it. It's more secure. Okay, now let's get this on here so I can screw these in. And it's got a nice grab because I drilled fresh holes, and then I'm letting these wood screws themselves thread the hole for a good grab. Okay, so now we have our tray made. Well, it's going to definitely have to be washed. But look how cute that is. Now, I know you're going to ask me, what about the screws on the bottom scratching the surfaces? Hang on just a second. I meant to grab these earlier. There we go. You're going to get little glass and furniture stoppers. They come in clear, they come like this, they come white, they come black, they come in felt, which is really lovely, except it's not terribly washable. So you just peel these off, they're sticky, turn them over. I might want to screw that one in a little tighter. Now, I didn't countersink this, meaning I didn't go in with a drill that actually cuts a little scoop in here so that the screw sits completely flush, because I hate doing that. No, because just honestly, I don't have the equipment to do that right now. So I don't want my screws to scratch the surface. So I'm going to put these little furniture caps. These little plastic bits are going to go over every screw. It will keep this from the screws from scratching your surface. You could also mount the back of this with cork or with the felt. Sorry, I lost the name. I kept coming up with velvet, and like the last thing I want to do is put velvet on a tray. And this doesn't want to peel off today. It's giving me a fit. Like it doesn't want to let go. Let go, you little stinker. There's one that'll let go. Ugh. You get these little things at the hardware store. So now you have a little, your screws are capped. You can set this down and it will not scuff any surface. And these are, eventually these will come off. Eventually these little cappy pieces will come off, and they're very easy to replace. All right, let me set that to the side because that's going to go in my studio window in a minute. All right, let me flip this up. Hey, Kay, thank you. Oh, Valentine's red. Yes, I'm wearing bright red lipstick. Got to do something on a cold Saturday afternoon, and we are in the middle of a snowstorm. It's not ugly out yet, but we're supposed to get anywhere from 5 to 8 inches today, so a little color would be good, I thought. All right, I'm gonna flip back down. We're gonna paint on our guys, and you're gonna work with me because I have not done, while I practice the cutting, I have not once laid a drop of paint on any of these shapes. So I'm gonna look for the ones that I cut the worst so that they don't end up going to one of you guys. Sorry, I got crud everywhere. I'm gonna cut the ones that I had some chatter on that didn't come out as well. And we're gonna practice on that. And I may get it wrong the first time. It won't, that happens. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's flip this down. And sorry, I gotta get this all centered. I'm gonna turn on an extra light too so that we are brighter down here while I paint. Whoa, that's blinding. Okay, we're gonna start with one of our little mushroom guys. So I'm looking for ones. I have a couple that I had some challenging cutting on, and so I kind of chewed up the back. That one. I'm looking for the apps. That's one of the worst. So there's the worst. So we're gonna take this, and then we're going to take wherever I put the original. And where did I put the original? I had it, I showed it to you. Now I've moved it and I can't find it. There it is. So we're gonna take our original guy and work on making this. And as you can see, we've got some sloped cuts here, but when the original artist did it, she defined in here, so you are not limited to how this is cut. So if you want to adjust your shape a little bit, you can do that. All right, let me grab a little brush. What have I got over here? Because I just didn't even pay attention to what brushes I had out or anything. And I do have my paint that I had from earlier. Now the other thing I might do is grab a pencil, if I got one nearby. I've had pencils in and out all day today, so I have no idea if I actually have a functioning pencil. Right, I'm going to turn this towards me just so I can see it to mimic it. I'm going to want to do... That's not bad. Close enough. These are very simple ornaments, so copying them is not hard, but I want to do justice to all this work that I just did, and I cut dozens of these to the last 2 days. So I'm using Set Coat Metallic Snow White, and as I've told you before, the metallic on this is super subtle, but I love the coverage. I think it's even better than Set Coat regular white, so I like it for stuff like this. And I need a little water. Cup. I always have water bottles around, just my very fine Drake water bottle that is now covered in paint, because this is literally what I keep it around for. I fill it with water. I put a little in a cup so that I can paint. So we're gonna get, my first goal is to make copies of this, or representations, imitations, however you'd like to phrase it, of the original, to get the feel of the method that was used, and then I can expand my interpretations. I'll probably need a second coat here because this is made from Baltic birch and it will pop a little grain. So I'll probably have to come back and do a second coat, but that's fine. We're going to set that one there off to the side. It's got to dry. And then let's grab one of the 3 mushroom guys. Okay. Now this one's a little more challenging in that the mushrooms are red, and I have no overwhelming desire to paint red, and then try to fill over the white. So I'm gonna look at this. The first thing I think I'm gonna do is I gotta sketch it. So I got my basic shape. If I could stop having my pencil lead retract on me. All right, time for another pencil. I don't know where that one, there it is. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for my mechanical pencil, my drafting pencil. Now, mind you, I need to sharpen the tip, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so I want to take this, and I like to, sometimes I turn things upside down because I find it much easier to interpret the shape if I'm not looking at it as what it is, and turning stuff upside down can make things much easier when you're trying to do something like that. Okay, I got this shape off. I got to take a look at it and figure out what I did wrong, because I did something wrong. It's not the right shape. There we go. Okay, so I blocked in my shape so that I can paint my colors in to make my life a little easier. I know, this is very exciting. I'm painting a lot of white right now. It's also not my favorite brush to do this kind of painting with. It's a little soft. Usually I choose something just a little stiffer. And the people who made these are longtime family friends. They're all no longer with us. So this is my way of honoring people who I love and adore, paying tribute with their stuff. And I know there are a lot of people back in the town I grew up in who badly miss this. The guy who used to do these. I loved him to death. He was such an awesome guy. All right, so we're gonna do this one now. Now you can see I'm not interpreting colors at the moment. I'm just kind of going for shape to get a feel for what each one of these feels like. Yeah. And as you can see, looking at this one, even though our shape is bulkier, the original artist came in and made a cleaner shape. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try it their way, and then maybe another time I won't. And when you do stuff like this, don't draw your pencil lines in super, super heavy. First of all, it's not every paint likes to cover pencil lines. You'd be surprised at how many times you'll have your line work show through if you do something like that. And also, if you have to erase it, it's a lot easier erasing a light line than it is a big, heavy, dark one. So the first time I do these, I'm gonna do them as close to the original as possible. I might shift the colors around because this pinky mauve-y color here, that's a little, definitely very 70s. So we might just go a little cleaner on the colors. And then after that, I'll start interpreting things my own way. And we're gonna have Easter eggs like this. there'll be a couple others. I'm still digging out all of my old Joel Cobb special items. Now, obviously, if I look at my white circle and their cap, mine is much rounder. So I might have to come in with my black and clean that up a little bit, or my other top color, but I think I'll be all right the first time. We're just going to play with them. And then we have one other to do, which is this guy. Now, during the winter, these were always painted like gingerbread creatures. In the spring, they would paint them in these wonderful candy colors and paint them with flowers and have them out for Easter. So while this is painted for gingerbread, I'm going to do one of the candy colored ones. And since I happen to have pink already here, piece of fuzz in there. I'm looking to see, yep, that was one of the rough ones. So I'll paint this one in the pink that I had made for other projects so I don't waste the paint. Now I might, do I have a, I gotta take a slightly bigger brush. This is a little too big to be working with on this, but it happens to be what's sitting next to me. Man, this is a beat up brush. We're going to paint this one pink. And I do paint both sides, so I like, because some of these are painted both sides, like some of them are, some of them aren't. So this one is only painted one side, but this one painted both sides. So I'm, you know, it just depends on the piece and in the mood and who was painting that day. So clearly I'm running this around, smearing it. I'm not holding it down, so I'm doing a very poor paint job right now. Let me come back in here and clean this all up. And you all saw the hearts that I've already done. I've done a whole bunch of them. They're hanging in the window. They will be posted on the website, both for sale or for you to use for inspiration. All right, so we're going to set that one to the side and put that in there. Ooh, I got to turn that light out. I can't see. Oh, gosh, that's bright. You have a water bottle. Do you ever worry, do you not worry about ruining whatever is in my hands? On my hands? No. I don't worry about much of anything ruining my, the nail polish is simply, the nail polish and the nails are simply to keep my nails from falling off my hands from being exposed to water and chemicals so much. I don't worry about a lot of things. I consider everything sort of ultimately fixable. I've made so many mistakes in my life on doing stuff that I kind of look at it like, oh crap, well, I did that wrong. Well, how am I going to fix it? So really, that's what I do. I've learned that getting crud on my hands doesn't bother me. It just doesn't. All right, everybody, it is a little after 5. It's starting to snow really hard, so I'm going to go home before the traffic gets ugly. I am so sorry I missed you guys most of this week. It has just been, oh, you need someone around so I don't worry. I misunderstood, Desiree. Listen, I need like 2 or 3 of me around so somebody can do one thing and I can do another. All right. Again, Saturday night, it's snowstorming here. Not bad. Just not, not a dusting. I'm going to go home before the roads get really ugly because they will early on. I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your weekend. I will be back on Tuesday. Again, sorry I missed you earlier. So much of this week on lives. It has been an insane week. I've had some family stuff. I have had sinus headaches where I couldn't stop sneezing and my nose running, and I figured you all think I was dying or I had COVID and you might be able to catch it through the video. I know you can't. I'm just being silly. So I just stayed off camera most of this week, so I was glad to come back and work with y'all today. But my time off the camera hasn't been wasted with our little mushrooms. So, and our little cutout guys. These will all be listed on the website for purchase later tonight. I have to take pictures of them, and I have to take pictures of everything else so I can put it up, and they'll be there for you. All right, everybody, have a wonderful night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.